I changed a road sign to make my commute easier 13 years ago. On my daily commute, there was a very inconvenient sign that said, no right turn between 7 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. The problem was, I needed to make that right turn at around 7:20 every single day. For a long time, I would either break the rule and turn anyway, or go the long way around if I felt like too many people were watching. One day, out of boredom, I did some research. I found out that the fine for making that illegal turn was actually more expensive than buying an official road sign. So I had an idea. I ordered a new sign that said, no right turn between 7:30 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. I treated it like an investment. I even bought it under a fake name and had it delivered to a different location. Very cloak and dagger, but honestly, that was part of the fun. Then one night, I went out, removed 2 bolts, and replaced the original sign with my new one. At first, I expected someone to notice. I thought it would get removed within days. But now, it has been over 13 years, and no one has ever changed it. And yes, I did think about just taking the sign down completely, but I figured that might actually get noticed. Besides, the whole plan was way more fun this way.
I found money in an ATM, and now I regret returning it. On my way to a bank ATM, I found $300 just sitting in the cash slot. No one was around. It looked like someone had withdrawn money and just forgot to take it. I waited for about 10 minutes just in case someone came back, but no one did. I was with my 9-year-old son, and he got really excited. He asked me, "Do we get to keep it?" I told him no. I said the right thing to do was to return it. It was Sunday, so we had to wait until Monday. I figured it would be a good life lesson for him. So the next day, I went into the bank and explained everything to the manager. They told me no one had reported missing money. They said they would take the cash, and if anyone came asking, they would review things later. That was it. No real reaction, just a simple thank you. And the bank kept the money. Honestly, I could have really used those $300. But I guess it was an important lesson for my kid. Still, I kind of regret it.
I faked liking sparkling water for 3 years, and now I'm trapped. It started when I was 27. I was trying to become one of those put-together adults, so I bought sparkling water. Took one sip, and it tasted like someone whispered the word fruit into TV static. Disgusting. But I had already posted it on Instagram saying, new addiction. Big mistake. After that, my friends kept bringing it over. My coworkers stocked it at the office, and my girlfriend, now my fiance, even bought me a soda stream. Now I'm in too deep. I nod like I understand flavors like pamplemousse and limoncello, but it all tastes like carbonated regret. Sometimes I just want a normal drink, but if I grab anything else, someone always says, no sparkling water today? And I just laugh like, yeah, totally. Anyway, if you're listening to this, never lie about what you like. It will follow you for years.
My neighbor messed with my mom, so I cost him $40,000. I live with my mom. She's quiet, keeps to herself, and never bothers anyone. But a few months ago, our new neighbor reported her to the city for having an illegal shed, which was complete nonsense. That shed has been there for years, and it's fully permitted. An inspector came out, checked everything, and left. No issue. But the neighbor, he looked proud, like he had just won something. So I decided to look into him, and that's when I found it. His brand new pool was built too close to the property line, and even worse, it was sitting on a utility easement, which is completely illegal. So I reported him. I sent photos, quoted the exact city codes. 2 weeks later, the city gave him 2 options: move the pool or fill it in. And since moving it was impossible, he lost the whole thing. $40,000 gone. Now he gets to stare at our perfectly legal shed every day while standing over a pile of dirt where his pool used to be. And my mom, she sleeps just fine now.
I have been lying to my son for 24 years about manatees. When he was 6, he gave me a birthday gift. It was a mug with a manatee on it. And when I didn't react excited enough, he got really upset. So I told him that manatees were my favorite animal in the world. And that was my mistake, because ever since then, every single gift I get from him is manatee themed. Shirts, calendars, mugs, decorations. For 24 years, I've built an entire fake personality around loving manatees. The truth is, I don't even like them that much. I mean, they're fine. They're just not my favorite. But I never told him, because at some point, I was just too deep into the lie. And now, it's gotten worse. For my birthday next year, my son booked a trip for both of us to go to Florida to see manatees. He's so excited. He's been telling the whole family. And honestly, I am excited too. Not for the manatees, but to spend time with him. So yeah, I guess I'm keeping the lie going. Because sometimes, it's not about the manatees.
I once tricked my college library into thinking I returned my books on time. Back in college, I borrowed a bunch of books for a big research project, and then I completely forgot about them. By the end of the semester, I had over 10 books, more than a month late. The fines were adding up fast, and if I didn't pay, I wouldn't even get my grades. I had no money, so instead of returning them normally, I did something else. I put all the books in my backpack, walked into the library, and quietly placed them back on the shelves where they belonged. No check-in, no record. Then the next day, I called the library and said there must be a mistake. They put me on hold, checked the system, and then came back and said, "Oh, it looks like the books were already returned. Sorry about that." And just like that, all my late fees disappeared, and I got my transcript.
I figured out how to get unlimited free burgers from McDonald's. When you sign up for the app, you get a free burger if you spend at least $1. So I realized something. You can just log out, create a new account, and do it again, and again, and again. I get coffee there almost every day anyway, so every time I wanted a burger, I just make a new account and get it for free with my order. No one has ever questioned it, not once. At this point, I've made over 100 accounts, and honestly, I don't feel bad about it at all.
A company accidentally sent me $6,000 and I kept it. I ordered some clothes online and returned about $60 worth. A week later, I checked my bank account, and suddenly I had $6,000. At first, I thought it was a mistake. Then I realized the company refunded me way too much. At the time, my boyfriend and I were applying for a mortgage, so I made a decision. If they noticed and took it back, fine, but I wasn't going to say anything. For weeks, I was nervous. I kept thinking they'd figure it out, but they never did. And eventually, we used that money for our down payment. That was 7 years ago, and no one has ever asked about it.
I found $8,000 hidden inside a box of bras and never told anyone. Back in 2021, I worked at a thrift store. One day, I was sorting through items for an upcoming sale. I opened a box of brand new bras, and behind them, there was a thick envelope. No name, no label. So I opened it, and it was full of cash. I counted it later, $8,000. At first, I didn't know what to do, so I just put it away. No one had asked about it. Months had already passed, so I kept it. I didn't even tell my coworkers. When I finally did, I lied and said it was only a few hundred. No one ever came looking for it. No one ever asked. And part of that money helped me buy a car, so I didn't have to walk to work anymore. I held on too long, and all it did was hurt my daughter. She was born with severe medical conditions. She spent most of her life in hospitals, sometimes months at a time. She lived 11 years. But honestly, it probably should have been much shorter. Her whole life became about being the strong kid, decorating her medical equipment, making cards for nurses. That was her world. No school, no friends, no normal childhood. Just hospitals. And me, doing everything I could to keep her alive, no matter the cost. In her last 6 months, she started asking me something, over and over again. She asked me if she could just stop. And I didn't listen. I kept pushing, because I wasn't ready to let go. She was, but I wasn't. And when she died, she was scared, upset. And I know why. Because she stayed. For me. And I wasn't strong enough to let her go. I've been taking 2-hour lunch breaks at work for the past 3 years. I work remotely for a big company. On paper, I work 40 hours a week, but every day around noon, I block my calendar and disappear for 1.5, sometimes 2 hours. No one questions it. My workload is huge anyway. There's always more to do than time allows. But here's the thing. I still hit all my goals. I get great performance reviews. I do everything that's expected of me. And honestly, this is the first time in my life that work actually feels balanced. Some days, during those lunch breaks, I'm just playing with my son, watching him grow up. And yeah, maybe I'm not working 40 hours a week, but I'm doing my job, and I'm actually living my life. I got free coffee from Starbucks for about 6 months. Here's how. About 15 years ago, Starbucks had free refills for drip coffee. It was meant for people sitting in the store. But I realized if I bought a cup in the morning, brought it back in the afternoon, and handed it to the barista, I could get another cup for free. I even kept 5 cups at home, rotating them every day. This went on for months, until one day, I brought in a cup, ready for a refill, and realized all the cups behind the counter were different. Holiday cups. Color me embarrassed. I started paying for coffee again. But hey, it was a good run. I work at a bank, and I give kids lollipops on purpose to make them fight. Remember being a kid, driving through the bank and getting a lollipop? Me and my brother always fought over the flavors. Blue raspberry, cotton candy, root beer, and butterscotch. Nobody wanted those. So now, when a parent comes through my line, and they're rude, I give their kids the bad flavors. Root beer, butterscotch. Maybe one good one, maybe not. I love watching them fight over them. I want to see the world burn. I quit my job, and they kept paying me for 4 months. A few years ago, I quit my retail job. I put in my 2 weeks, said my goodbyes, and thought it was done. A couple weeks later, I checked my bank account. There's a paycheck, sitting there, like I still worked. I figured maybe it was leftover hours. Then another check hit, and another. This went on for 4 months. I'm sitting at home, watching Netflix, and boom, direct deposit. 2 full 40-hour weeks. I expected HR to call, to notice, but nothing. I used some for rent and groceries, but never went crazy. And then it just stopped. Years later, I still wonder if they ever realized. My work shift got canceled, but I lied and went to the beach instead. I was supposed to work, but got the call the day before. My spouse is a total nightmare to deal with, and I never get time for myself. So I said, screw it. I put on my work clothes, drove out like I was going to work. Then I went straight to the beach. Weather was perfect, no tourists yet. I parked, changed out of my work clothes, and just sat there, alone, relaxing. Glorious.